Warning! This tutorial is to help you get started, not to teach you every single thing there is to know about GTA or FiveM modding. I show you how I do it. That doesn't mean it's the only way. Take this tutorial and perfect it in your own way. Research and trial and error is required.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing a basic face tutorial. So let's just go ahead and get started onto it. So today I'll be using Photoshop. The Photoshop version I am using is 2020. All right. If you do not have Photoshop, you need to use an older version of Photoshop, preferably one that is between 2017 through 2023. If you do visit my Discord, I do have that all for you. If you just go into the Photoshop section, program, I absolutely have the 2023, 2020, and 2021. Keep in mind 2020, anything after 2021 and above, you will not have the wireframe once you click the head texture here. Keep in mind you will not have the wireframe overlay. Pretty much it's really not needed. All you really need is that face base texture and you're good to go. Let's go ahead and get started with our face. All right, so I already have this OBJ in. All I'm gonna do is first we need to bring up our wireframe as I just showed. So when you go over here to layers on the right hand panel, after you've input your OBJ, it should come up like this. Go down and hit head diff where it says default texture, double click it. Okay, so you should have your wireframe. Like I said, if you have any version 2021 and above, you may not have this at all, even if you toggle on and off the UV overlay here. But yeah, so you should have your first base layer right here. All right, so we're gonna go and head back over to the 3D layer. This is the 3D layer. Make sure you're on the move tool, because if you're on something else, it's gonna recognize it as a 2D layer and it won't move or anything. So make sure on the move tool. All right, so our next step we want to go ahead and do is put on our base texture. That is the GTA 5 skin, FiveM skin, the multiple colors that we have for the base skin. You can choose whatever skin you're using for your face that you find. Honestly, you might want to find a face first before you choose the skin. So places where you can find a face. Pretty much you can go on Instagram. A lot of makeup artists do close-up faces. That's a good suggestion. Pinterest is another good suggestion as well. Mid-Journey, some people are doing ChatGPT. Mid-Journey, making your faces yourselves by using prompts. Now there are plenty other resources out there. I typically do not use those. So let's just go ahead and find a face. I'm going to find it from the one I do. You find a face from one you rather find it from. Pinterest, Mid-Journey, ChatGPT, whatever. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and choose a face pretty much off of Instagram. You can do tags. So a lot of tags are in here. Makeup artists worldwide. You can look at tags through there. Find makeup artist pages and go from there. Put these as your references, or you can pretty much upscale one of these photos that are really good and actually just use that photo itself. But I'm gonna choose a face or whatnot. I feel that is what I'm looking for and put it into a program. I think this face is really pretty. I think she's really pretty. I'm gonna use this as a reference. It won't be anything that I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna use this as a reference. So it's gonna be enhanced. So I'm just gonna screenshot this and use her face as a reference. All right, and I'm gonna put it in a program that I use, and I will come back with the final result. All right, guys, so I have generated a face. Hopefully it comes out nice. I'm kind of concerned with the eyebrows, but we can always remove the eyebrows and put something else on. But this is the face. I tried to get one without a lot of makeup or details, just to start from scratch with everything. But I'm pretty sure I can add more lashes, more makeup here, or like a shine here, the forehead, a shine to the cheeks, and more shine here. So that's pretty much what I want to show you guys anyways. All right, so this is the face I will be using. So pretty much what you need to do is find a face map or base color that pretty much similarly matches this. I'm going to go ahead and open up the templates. Like I said, if you want the base stuff or just the starter pack, visit the website below where you can get all of this starter pack stuff, including the makeup stuff. That's going to be on the Discord or the website. All right, so I'm trying to find one that matches pretty much close to this. Maybe lat. But if you're undecided, you can just go ahead and put the, the faces on a new layer. And then use your face skin. Put it on top. Do you think, and figure out, do you think you can blend this in? Or how well can you blend this in? This is how I like to test. I don't think that will blend in right. So I'm going to do another map. Like I said, I think the next darkest one is lat. Or maybe pack. Let me do pack. I feel like I could do it with pack. All right, so I'm going to do pack. So once you find your face and your skin, you want to do, go ahead and go over to the default texture layer. Here you go. You can put it on the first layer. Just remember, anything you do over here, make sure you have a layer selected over here. Preferably putting it on a new layer. Each edit you do, that will help. So on the first layer, I'm just going to add that pack to it. Press enter. Like I said, on the versions 2021 and above, you honestly do not need this UV overlay. I know people stress about it not having the UV overlay. This is all you really need, to be honest. You don't really need that much. You don't need this unless, I don't know, because where you're working is in this area, and obviously you would delete all this stuff, so you really do not need the UV overlays. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and rasterize this layer. Right click this layer, then rasterize, so that we can make edits to it. Now, the next thing we want to go ahead and do is put our picture in. But before we put our picture in on this 3D part, go back to 2D. Make sure you have a new layer, layer 2, or just add a layer here. Make sure the box is highlighted with the white around it. That tells it's highlighted. Now, we're going to go over to the 3D mode. And I like to just zoom in and make sure it's wide because I like to see what the heck I'm doing. So I hit Control Plus to zoom in. Now, in order to get rid of this glare and everything, it's not going to be showing in game, but in order to get rid of this glare so you can see how it's going to naturally look, we're going to go to the side where it says solid. I'm going to hit unit texture. So it should be a little ashy looking like this. Okay. Now, if you get out of view like this and you need to get it back straight, what I like to do is go into 3D right here, go into current view, go up to where it says current view 2 and hit default. And it goes right back into place. Okay. So now the next step is to go ahead and put your picture right onto the 3D layer mode. So I'm just going to drag and drop. And here's the picture. I'm going to size it down. I'm just going to size it down to where my face is. And I'm pretty much just going to hit the check mark up here. This is not where I want to leave it, but just want to hit the check mark up here. Go into my layers. I want to rasterize this as well. I'm going to turn the opacity down to maybe 50 or a little bit. I like to leave it in between 30 and 50. And then I'm going to edit this. So you see the face is too big. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to go ahead and hit Control T. And then I'm going to just size it down more. The one thing I like to make sure that's lined up is the eyes first before anything. All right, so you don't want to make it too small to where the lips are way off. So just size it a bit. It could be off a little bit like that, but not like way off like how it was before. So I'm gonna make it a bit bigger. And here is good because I know I'm gonna have to adjust everything here. As far as moving the mouth down and the nose. Because the eyes are definitely way different. All right, so this is pretty much good, looks like. Now I'm just going to hit the check mark again. Then I'm going to turn the opacity back up. Now, the next thing we have to do is go into our Liquify. Now, there has been issues where people would go into Liquify, go into Filter, Liquify. I don't know if it's going to happen now. But the back model would be all black. And I'm going to tell you how to fix that like this. So it did it to me. I'm going to tell you how to fix that and tell you why it does this. It's a GPU issue. It could be the image issue. So just cancel this. Normally what I would do, just cancel out of this whole Photoshop and do it again. Sometimes it comes up, sometimes it fixes itself, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I would go into preferences, 3D, and I would just toggle on some of this stuff and just play with some of this stuff on 3D. Maybe move this down some for the RAM. You can also go into performance. This sometimes works too when I play with that. So now actually what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to go ahead and start this over again. Or just try to see if it fixes itself at this point. So I'm going to go into Liquify again. I'm going to go and lock all of these. I'm going to go into all layers, hit 1, and it does it again. So like I said, it's a Photoshop issue. Remember, we're using older Photoshops that they no longer correct or fix. A lot of times it's a GPU issue. If you do not have enough storage on your computer, Photoshop would not act correctly as it should be doing. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of this. I'm going to cancel out of everything. I didn't make too much edits. All I did was drop in this layer in the photo, and that's it. So I'm just going to restart this. All right, so after tweaking some stuff and doing what you need to do, like I said, you might end up having to close everything out and reopen it multiple times, or continue adding the photo back in and out. It's just a Photoshop issue. It's not you. So, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back how I think it should be. All right. So here's fine. I'm going to go ahead and turn back up the opacity. Hit my check mark. Going to Filter, Liquify, and let's see if it does the same thing. I am going to do the layers 1. Then behind, turn it down, and it fixed itself. So like I said, it's Photoshop. It's not you. So I'm just gonna lock all this stuff. And I'm just going to adjust everything here. I'm going to zoom in. You can freehand it like what I'm doing now using this forward warp tool. Or you can just do the face tool here and it just adjusts both sides as you need be. All right, then I'm going to fix the nose. And then I'm going to go down and fix the mouth. So I like using this forward warp too because it doesn't move a lot of the stuff that needs to be moved. So like how earlier when I moved down the mouth, it moved down the nose as well. So that is another tool you can use to adjust everything. So just going back and forth with this would help. And then I'm going to zoom out. And then with the outer, I'm just going to move it out like that. And you see how it does not move anything around. You can check your stuff and it's fine like this. All right, so we should be good with this. I'm gonna hit OK. And then I'm gonna merge down this layer. Make sure you have a clear layer selected. I don't even know what this is. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to go ahead and add a new layer. Make sure it's selected. And then I'm going to merge this layer down. All right. So there you have it. I'm going to go ahead and clean it up on the 2D layer here. If it doesn't show up, just exit out, no, and then double click this. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and clean it up. I'm just going to use the eraser tool and I'm going to make sure the opacity is at 100 on this. So the eraser tools is something we'll be using in order to get like the blending method in. So I'm just going to erase a lot of the dark spots here. Smoothing I put at 12. It might be at 0 for you, but put it low. I mean, we're going to be turning it up anyways. So I'm just going to go in. And you also want to make sure your hardness is down so that it's not making sharp cuts. And you want to get rid of the sharp edges. Be ensure that it is smooth. All right. That's also how you get the blending to have its effect, especially bringing down your hardness and your smooth. We'll just bring it up more smoother. And you see, I didn't have to do too much in order to get it to blend. It's automatically been blending in. All right, so let's go ahead and see what our stuff looks like on the 3D layer. And I can get rid of some dark spots up there, I see. I have to get rid of some of the stuff on the eyes. So this other stuff at the bottom, I'm going to zoom out. You're going to actually put this one on hard so that we can just remember 22 hard. Get rid of that extra stuff that's down here. That shouldn't be there. All right. One thing I like to do when I feel like I'm far where I feel like I don't want Photoshop to shut down on me, I would like to save this whole thing right here. So I'm just going to go into save, export, quick PNG, and I'm just going to save it. So if anything happens, you have this much done. Now the only thing is you might not have this layer right here, but what you can do is probably just do this, save this part separately, and then obviously this is just the base, so you can put the base back in and then just pop this over it. So that's pretty much what I like to do just in case something happens. So like I said, here the eyes are straight now. I just have to fix the nose area. Get rid of like the blackness out of here and here, and then we should be good to go with adding other stuff to his face. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the head. So there is something that's still on this. If you see that when you go back to here and this box is very wide and not like short, there's something still on this layer that needs to be erased. So just go in and then do Control T again. There might be something somewhere that is not erasing. All right, but that's okay, as long as you can't see it. All right, so let's go in and get rid of like this black stuff. So I'm gonna go in, zoom in. I'm gonna make sure my brush is on this soft round brush. There's other brushes in here too. I'm gonna change it going down. Make sure my smoothness is all the way up. And I'm gonna make this a little smaller. And just tap away. Because what we're doing, we're getting rid of that black stuff that's all around. Oh, turn the opacity down. I'm sorry. You need to do that as well. So that is not doing the whole thing. And all I'm doing is just tapping. So in my other videos, I use other brushes like the smooth, the smudge, blur tool I like to use, but not so often. Normal. It just smooths it out. So yeah, pretty much this just takes patience, you guys. Use the smudge tool to bring it out more. Then we're gonna do the blur tool. Just blur that out. And we're gonna go into here. Make sure your opacity is somewhere up there, and it kind of just blends it out. All right, so it's getting there. Let's go ahead and continue. So yeah, like I said, this is pretty much how you would do your blending technique. So just keep in mind, you would use your smudge tool, bring it out as far as you can. So I'm going to show you just the 3 tools you really need. The 3 tools you will need. That is the smudge tool. What I'm doing now. All right. And then there is the blur tool to blur those edges. And then the last one is your eraser tool. Make sure it's at the opacity very smooth and just start tapping away. And what I'm doing, I'm pretty much just tapping. And guys, that's pretty much how you clean it up. And I forgot to clean up the nose part. So let me go ahead and do that now. So pretty much to clean up the nose, eraser tool, bring it down. Opacity can be brought up. And that's pretty much it. If you need to bring some in, just do like a paint. Select that. Then you select something around it. I like to zoom in because sometimes it does not pick the right thing. And I'll just do that. Okay. Then I'll bring it in. But mine was right, so I don't need to do that. All right, so that is your blending technique. So for like eyebrows, if you want to change them out, I suggest just doing that on this layer. So that's pretty much your blending technique. I feel like I can go in with the eraser tool a bit to blend that in so it doesn't look too harsh. Opacity, bring it down so it's not looking harsh. And that's pretty much how you blend, y'all. If you want, you can go in and just clean it up. All right, so that is your face tutorial. If you want, my pack comes with edges as well. But in the next videos, I will just be showing you guys. So in the next videos, I will be showing you different makeup techniques, adding eyes. And there you have it, a little glare. Okay, so that's pretty much all I'll show you for today. Just remember you can purchase my starter pack on the website. The link is in the description below, you guys. So I hope you like this video on some new blending techniques.